Hello, curling world, and welcome to the Friday morning draw at the Saville Grand Prix Men's Edition. My name's Gord Copthorne. I'm coming to you live from a beautiful, sunny Edmonton, Alberta, here at the Southern Alberta, the Southern University of Alberta campus at the Saville Centre. We are featuring Team Davies versus Team Maeda this morning, and I hope you're here to enjoy a good match with me. So we see here that Davies is off to the early lead with his hammer. So we'll see what we can muster here in the first end. Thank you for joining us on Curling Stadium here on the SSN network. And for any of you joining us from across the world, perhaps even over in Japan, welcome and thank you. So we're on sheet 3 here at the Saville Centre, and for the most part over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the ice has been moving quite strongly. You've got probably about 5 feet of curl, tend to be running about 14 and a half seconds. So there's plenty of opportunity to create offense from the first right through to the last rock beach end. You'll see right away that these two young teams are going right after it, not bothering to waste any time or rocks, which should make this all the more interesting. That kind of a play of coming to the nose of another rock in the top of the house has lost a little bit of gusto over the last few years. It was quite prominent a couple decades ago, but it does set you up really nicely, even though you don't get shot rock out of it early in the end. Zach's electing to split the house here, asking Adam Nagler to put one over to the edge and see if they can't generate a 2 in a calm and easy manner for first end. Most of you probably know they get the opportunity to throw practice rocks up and down the sheet, so they should have a pretty decent grasp of draw weight going into it. Fun little fact, inside out draws, especially after the practice, tend to be about a third to a half second slower. So you can see that Nagler came up a little bit short of the target, but he is in the house. Takumi Maeda electing to just hit and roll towards the middle, keep the play down in the forefoot. So this would be Yuri Kamikawa playing the soft weight hit and roll. That's a really nice weight to use, especially this early in the end. Get rid of a yellow, but keep your rocks in play and controllable. Zach's going to follow up with a little nose hit, maybe a tiny little roll towards the center, hitting it on the low side of the rock, you might say. Low side meaning crossing across to the opposite side. High side would mean hitting the rock on the side your broom is currently aligned with. So this will be a nice soft weight, perhaps board, something in that area. Just a little nose or sluttle inside. This is Will Butler throwing for second for Zach Davies today. They are members of the University of Alberta Golden Bears, so this is their home turf, so to speak. There you see it, that nice board weight nose hit. Does leave a bit of a double opportunity. Might be just as fine with a nose and stay, but a double would be awfully nice. Tap of the shoulder usually means normal weight, so let's see if we can muster this double takeout. Oh, sweepers are on early. Keeping it clean. What do we got? What do we got? 1, 2 in the corner. Nice shot. Off to an early clean end. right, Zach keeping it calm. Hit and roll back to the middle. Worked for Maeda. It's his turn to try it. See if you can't get mostly under that guard, but not underneath that other red one. Don't want to make shots too easy for your opponent. Okay, nice, manageable weight. Sweeping it early. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, red one gone. Half a good shot. Does kind of leave Maeda with the choice to do anything he wants to. This is an interesting choice. Create a bit of a stagger so you can see half the outside of every rock. In the Colleen Jones days, this would be called a Christmas tree. So just cross the nose a little bit and push that other one back about 5 feet. So this is Hiroki Maeda coming in with a nice, not exactly what you ask for in the first end, back house tap weight, but hey, lots of practice, right? It's hanging out there a little bit. Looking close. Nice shot. Actually over curled just a fraction. They're hoping to keep at least the edge of that back red covered with the shooter. Gives Zach a little bit of room for a hitting partial roll underneath that red one. This is Ronan Peterson up to bat. Yeah, if he gets a tiny little roll, then Maeda will be forced to hit and roll away, and then Zach's got an opportunity to sneak in a 2. Aggressive clean on the sweep. Looking a little thick. Here it goes. Nice shot, but not a roll. Maeda looking to roll away all the same. If you leave it right beside it, it would be a potential outside double. So roll away a little bit. Not ideal because it gives Davies the roll back under. A little more weight on this one. All right. Zach has some choices here. It's going to be awfully deep if he rolls for shot. But you don't really want to leave opponents' rocks hanging around too much in the first end. So he's just going to play the hit and roll. It's a bit of a longer roll, so he's up in control weight here. Ooh, he's on the outside half. Ooh, nibble, nada. Little bit of an unforced error there. That's certainly going to make things a little tougher for the local team. Maeda gets to practice his draw to the button again, which early in the game, that was a good time to do it. See if you can't just bite the edge of the button. Partially buried, bite the top button. Brilliant shot. You could go out turn or in turn, so this is very much a shooter's preference, or whichever one you've got a better read of. On the sweep early. Looks a little light. I got 15. My stopwatch in my pocket here like a good curler. So he's going to be in the house, but wrong side of that front red one. Zach could possibly hit those two, but that's not really necessary. Partially buried, probably sticker red, so chase to the 4-foot. You get in there first, and now you got to skip to deuce on the line. Obviously, you don't want to be under the tee line, give backing to Maeda. You also don't want to be truly on the button, because then if he freezes it, you're going to be hard pressed to get a second one in. So ideal would be about a full rock top 4. Zach having to switch over to the other side. He's actually a lefty, so this is still actually his out turn, but it is the other side of the sheet from what Takumi just threw. Let's see what the local Albertan team has to show. Sweepers aren't on it quite as hard early. Looks like they like it, though. Got some room. Little bit spicy. Oh, a lot spicy. Significant spicy. That's unfortunate. All right. That leaves Maeda with the choice to do whatever he wants to. So he's going to stick with the same turn. Just threw it. Just got a good read. Just needs about 6 feet more weight. He can afford a little bit of extra ice, obviously. That one curled more than he expected it to. So we're in the 5.5, 6 feet of curl here early in the end. Early in the game, I should say. All right, let's see what he has for attempt number 2. Sweeper's on it early again, but not quite as aggressive, so it's got to be close. Here's that big swing, picking it up around the hog line. It's going to be close. Uh-oh. Perhaps a little soft on the turn. That one really cut. Got a nice fortuitous tap out of it. Would have preferred to be full 4-foot, but hey, at least the pressure's on, and Zach has to draw against 3. Needs a good piece of the button. Sorry, the 4-foot. So needs a good deep breath here. Pitch to the last one. That was just through, and take off a good, I'd probably say take off 10 feet. Let your sweepers do a little bit of work here. Team shot. All right, here we go. Both sweepers are engaged. It's got to be close. It's looking a little light. They got to work it. Keep working it. Work harder. Work harder. Ooh, that's not going to work out very well. Close, but not quite. That's 3 on the board for red. Maeda out with an early lead, but hey, the game is still young and anything can happen.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be
AztecSafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the Rip Berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk? And I'll add spinach and ginger. And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Booster juice, freshly made, your way.
Welcome back, everybody. We're kicking off end number 2 here at the Saville Grand Prix Men's Edition. We are coming to you live from the Saville Sportsplex on the University of Alberta Southern Campus. After one fairly interesting first end, Maeda is up with 3-0. Zach came up just a fraction light on his draw to the 4-foot after being a fraction heavy on his first attempt at the draw to the 4-foot. But hey, those are all learning opportunities, and there's still 7 ends to go. So we see here that Maeda's jumped into the 4-foot, and Zach threw up a corner guard. Pretty standard when you're up or down by a decent amount. That center guard's not quite in front of the other rock, so that might give Zach an open door later on in the end, but we'll see how it unfolds. Thanks to everybody, no matter where you are, for joining us this morning. Well, morning in our part of the world. Coming to you here on the Curling Stadium, part of the SSN network. And we certainly encourage you to follow all line scores across the event today on Curling Zone. Great place to see what's going on. So this is Team Davies from Canada, Alberta, playing against Team Maeda from Japan. I can profess to say I don't know a whole lot about that young team out of Japan, so this is quite exciting for me as well to be part of. Zach recognizes the need to be a little bit aggressive, so he's throwing it out into the corner guard here. Trying to entice Maeda to ignore it for a while and maybe keep playing down the middle, looking for a double or something along those lines. But you can see it just popped out the far side. There's so much curl in this sheet. So they're just going to try to hit and roll out. Burn a few yellow rocks in the process. Got to be careful on these ones way out in the wings. Sometimes you get little flat spots where the scraper blade levels out the sheet. Ooh, this is kind of what I'm getting at. Either a hair too much. It doesn't look like too much weight. That was strong board, kind of control sort of thing, but it didn't come up like they expected. So either he floated it a bit, or that's that spot where it doesn't quite grab the curl as aggressively. Opportunity, Team Davies here. Put another one in underneath that corner. Hoping that at some point Maeda switches to trying to just peel the guard and then either keep putting the guard up or go after that one in the 4-foot. Zach's not looking to get all 3 back in one end. He'd certainly love to, but a 2 here is really kind of an early must. All right, let's put another one under the corner. Let's see what they got. Early indication is a bit heavy. It's grabbing that big swing. Not terrible. Still only see a little bit of it. So, as hoped, Team Davies has talked them into trying something with the guard. So Maeda thinking, hey, let's get rid of 2 yellows, maybe even 3. Let's give this a run. Bit of a fishtail. Here it comes. Here it comes. What do we got? Contact. Oosh, and a little bit of air and left a corner guard. That's almost the roughest outcome you could have come with. Zach can throw another corner guard now. Now you've got 2 rocks under 2 guards. You really couldn't ask for better setup. So close to the perfect run back, and instead it ends up being a very big problem. All right, let's see what Mr. Butler here has. Looking for a deep 2 guard, if you might call it that, just underneath the red one. Trying to create a little bit of overlap. It's got a long way to go. It's coming. It's coming. Well, it almost did it. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Just a bit of overlap would have been ideal to keep this kind of a run back out of the playbook. So the Japanese team, again, looking to move at least 2, if not 3 yellows. One, 2, all 3 moving. Put 2 in the corner and 1 out of play. What a nice shot. But still corner guards. Opportunity available. Plenty of curl. You can fully bury. All right. Ronan Peterson into the hack, trying for just above the tee line, fully buried. Nice assertive release there, keeping it straight early. Watching it a bit. There's the curl. Now they're going to really milk that curl for as much as they can. Even back house is fine as long as it's in the rings and under the guards. You would have loved it above the tee line, but hey, that's a yellow rock in the house that's guarded. Maeda's electing to just chop it all off. I'm gonna throw one in front of that yellow, but closer to the middle. Same kind of scenario. Under the tee line gives a freeze back. Above the tee line is ideal. Basically saying there, just make sure you're in the rings closer than the yellow one. We'll worry about the details later. The Japanese team throwing a little bit of a quieter, softer rock than the Albertan team. So they're going to get some pretty strong curl. Here it goes. Working it, working it. Decent. We'll give that a B+. It's out counting the yellow. They're sitting 2. You still can get away with a corner freeze that'll be closer to the middle. I'm not sure I agree with Zach on pushing that one through. There you go. This is a good setup. Call it a third of a rock freeze. Then you could actually play a shot to pop the red one out and roll to the middle. There's choices with it. But for now, you just need to be second shot. Even tapping it 2 or 3 inches wouldn't be the end of the world. All right. Early clean. Always good to see. Coaches like early clean. Oh, it's Needs a little work. Working it in. Really close. What a wonderful shot. That's a definite A. That's a great shot. Corner frozen, second shot. Maeda has to now basically say, okay, forget about that half the sheet. How do we use the middle and try to just steal one or maybe force one through this path? You could guard your own. You could outdraw the yellow one underneath of the tight red guard, making that kind of Christmas tree of overlapped rocks. You could be fully buried top four and just let that existing rock in the 4 foot be a dead duck. That's also fine. So there they go. They're electing with the what would be in turn or clockwise draw. Get it underneath that tight guard. Anywhere under the guard and closer than the yellow. Holding the line straight. Early sweep is to take a little bit of the curl out of the rock. Now they're switching to make it curl. It's got to be close. Full rock 8 foot. Ooh. Little hard to tell, but I think that's second. Zach doesn't have a lot of great choices here. He's currently looking at the basically raised double takeout. I think the raised red would likely stick around. It would certainly be second, if not third shot, which would be fine. Trying to crisscross it over the one in the house would be doable. Bit on the thin side. I don't like that as much because the likely miss is that the middle red just sticks in the 4 foot. The guard more straight back, so just a bit of angle. If that one stays, again, the yellow on the side is actually going to be out counting it. It wouldn't really matter short of leaving Maeda a small tap. But it looks like he's electing to cross the face a little bit and just try to thin everything. So half an inch or an inch of every rock. Bang, bang, bang. Zach's no stranger to these upweight hits, so let's see what he has in the basket this morning. A little setback, early sweep. What does he got? He's got 1, 2, and there's the downside. He stuck the middle one. Oh, so close to nice. Now Maeda's got a center guard and a rock in the 4 foot. Nothing stops him from doing the exact same thing he just did. That would be a real big pressure shot on Zach. They tapped over to the side, just trying to cut off that other yellow one, but then you're just leaving your shot rock wide open and say, here, have one. I kind of like him doing the exact same thing he just did. And to his point there, light is a perfectly acceptable guard. If you're going with the guard, you'd like to have a little bit of overlap. If you do slide into the house, again, you want to be... You don't have to be. You'd like to be second rock, but as long as you're covering a decent part of that red one and taking the doubles and the raises away, that's solid. So you've got a pretty big path there. You got about 6 feet of workable distance to stop your rocking. That's always nice to have a little bit of room for error. So basically the exact same thing he did. Not so much of the early sweep to hold the line this time. Must be a little bit wider. Or possibly a bit heavy. It's sliding for him. Don't really want to give an obvious double. Don't want to give a double. I think it's buried enough that the obvious double's not there. That's going to be teased into that same shot he just played. Run back double for 2. He might be able to play board weight, and maybe the red one spins far enough. He's only got half a rock. Needs to hit about half a rock. No good draw. That'd be pretty audacious to try to draw the button. He did just throw this. So you're looking at just a little bit on the off side of that one. So not the center line side, but the off center line side. Just a little bit of angle to nose it right onto those reds. Then you get your hard-earned 2s. Oh, rock from the other sheet visiting. Hello. Goodbye. All right. Let's see what Zach has here. Attempt number 2. A little less of a pop on this one. They're going to have to work it. He did not set that one out to the broom. It's going to overcurl. Oof! Tragedy, tragedy. That's another 2 on the board for Team Maeda. The score is now 5-0 after 2 ends. Lots of opportunities, but hey, we'll take a quick break and see what the third end brings us.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Hello again, curling world, and welcome back to the Saville Grand Prix. We're broadcasting live out of Edmonton here on Curling Stadium, part of the SSN network. Live scores all posted up on Curl Zone. Our current game is a 5-0 advantage for Maeda. Let's take a quick walk around the sheets. Next door, we have Johnston Tao playing against Jackson Hebert. Tao has a 1-0 lead over there. Small edge. And over on sheet 5, we got Shanae Abbey playing James Balance, another Japan-Alberta match. That's a closer one. It's 2-1 in favor of Team Japan. Over on sheet 6, we have Kim versus Hlushak. That's a 3-0 lead for our Korean friends. Sheet 7, it's no scores posted yet. It says 0-0 on here. I do believe that will be updated shortly. And then on the far side, we've got Craig versus Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi with the 2-1 lead. Again, all scores can be seen live on Curl Zone. I encourage you to follow and enjoy. My name's Gord Coppathorne. I have the pleasure of keeping you company this morning through this match on a beautiful Friday morning broadcast out of Edmonton. So once again, we kind of got the same situation going as we did last end. Maeda happy to put rocks down the middle as distractors and teasers. Zach setting up a corner guard, a hair wider than you typically would. If it's fully covering the 12-foot, you're not giving yourself a lot of house to play with. But hey, a corner is a corner. Tried to put a second one underneath it. Adam didn't quite get it all the way over and under, so Maeda is now going to try to get rid of that one. At this point, the scoreboard says take out yellow. Haven't played a ton of rocks this direction, so it's possibly a bit straighter, but that was a beautifully thrown takeout. Nothing more than the board weight you need to move it. Have created a bit of a pocket back there. Zach may decide to put on his mixed doubles shoes and just start stacking rocks on the pile. Corner guard. All right, we have a corner guard. Let's use it. I have no problem with that. Going to be a little hard to be shot rock with it out there that far, but right now you just need yellows in the house. All right, this is Will Butler with the attempted draw. This one's hanging out a little bit as well, kind of like the first one. Not sure it's going to get fully underneath. All right, we're buried, but we're second. We'll go second. Yeah, we'll go a second. Scoreboard says remove yellow. So we remove yellow. Yuri Kamikawa with the attempted hit and roll. Objective 1, hit. Objective 2, roll. Solid. It actually worked out. Now they're actually sitting 3. Yellow is definitely fourth shot. Zach's got to get creative. At this point in the game, any kind of a takeout for yellow is not really going to help a ton. So he needs rocks in play, backing, hiding, all those sorts of fun things. I like playing with these back two here. It's a nice 2-rock wide target to freeze on. If they play hit on it, then the red ones are going to move, and all of a sudden that side yellow is becoming a lot more useful. They're asking if they want to try another corner guard. Also perfectly fine. It's early enough in the end you could put 1 or 2 more attempts into the corner guard. Team seems to be a little bit on the disagreement bandwagon here. Yeah, that's totally fine. Rocks in the house that if Maeda hits them, they have a chance of crashing on reds. That's kind of what your plan is right here. All right, looking to be top 4, deep 4, fully frozen, anything in that ballpark where the red-yellow rays just crashes into the reds at the back. Ooh, it's curling. It's really curling. Yee. Good news, no double. Good news, still possible to catch on the back ones. Not the hardest shot for the Japanese team. Just pick it out. Hiroki here with the pick shot. Don't see picks as much in curling as you used to. Excellent execution. All right, try again. Hasn't really changed a lot. Still sitting in that 5.5, 6 feet of curl. There's that nice positive release they're usually after. This one's definitely clear of the guard. That little pop in the release makes it run straighter early. Most Canadian teams aspire to do. They do need to work this, though. It doesn't have a lot of weight. I don't know. I don't mind it. Makes a bit of a tricky guard sort of thing. I don't think that red one catches on the yellow at the side. Nose hit double would bring the yellow one at least up to third shot. And all right, safe. Yellow's been promoted up to third shot. Have a partial guard on that yellow one. That was a helpful roll for the Davies team. This is a lot of weight for a very simple hit. If it's what they do in their practice, then it is what it is. You don't normally see full normal for a backhouse simple double. A little hard to control it. But looking good. Ba-bang! 2 in the corner. Nice shot, Ronan. All right, now Maeda's basically saying, all right, you're earning your 2. I'm just going to trade rocks with you. So here's an interesting difference. Team Davies preferred normal-ish down this kind of a path for a simple hit. The Japanese crew prefers more of a board weight. It's whatever your team practices and prefers. Use what you love. Hard on the sweep. It's looking decent. A little hit and stick. Nicely done. Zach doesn't have to worry too much about nose. It would be too flat for a double, so he just needs to hit and stay preferably that side of the sheet. You don't really want to roll to the right too much. But hit the red and stay for at least second. So now I just forget any past negative thoughts. Think, hey, nice, clean, simple. There we go. A little bit nicer release than on his last one. Sweeper's keeping it clean. There you go. Much better. Nice shot. All right, sitting two, it's flat. They're just going to try to move the rock to a different spot, make Zach throw a different takeout, and in theory say, hey, you got your two. Japanese third thinking, hey, what if we roll hidden underneath of this red thing and be shot rock? It's probably possible. Very difficult roll. And then the shot back from Zach wouldn't all be that hard. He only got tapped at about 4 inches. So just get rid of the yellow. Looking good. Looking good. Bonk. And a nice little roll to a different spot. Just what they were after. So yeah, you could have rolled that. Another rock and a half. Been shot rock and partially buried, but that draw tap would have been pretty straightforward. Nice shot. All right, Zach has the basically exact same shot, slightly different path. Nice little calm in-turn takeout for him. All right, here we go. Just looking for a nose hit. Nothing fancy. Looking like they want a little bit of curl. Adam Nagler on the sweep. Looking good. Bang. There we go. So, Team Davies shook off the early awfuls and generated the two they were after, bringing the score up to 5-2. Still got some work to do, but the game is early, so we'll take a quick commercial break and be back in a few minutes.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome back, everybody. My name's Gord Coppathorn, coming to you here on Curling Stadium, broadcast this early Friday morning draw of the Saville Grand Prix Men's Edition. Quick recap, we're going into the fourth end. Team Davies, they were kind of racing out in the gravel for the first two ends and gave up some unfortunate points, but they rallied back for a strong two in the third end. So let's see what their stealing shoes look like. First rock sliding into the house isn't your typical setup, but that's okay. You get two rocks in the free guard zone. Still opportunity to create one. The lead for Team Maeda, what's it? Mr. Tokoro getting a rare lead takeout. Those are always kind of fun to play lead. Zach now going back to the guard. Got to have a guard. In an 8-in game, you can't burn too many ends, so throw another one up front. Don't worry about that red one for now. And I'm looking to take 6 or 8 feet off of that one. Still looking a little on the strong side. All right, this will work. I'm not sure if it's touching the center line, so a tick would be a potential. They're not too concerned about that, so your choices are tick the guard, throw a guard, or split the house. Team Japan going along the plan B, which is throw a guard. Up 5-2, a lot of teams would have taken a much more cautious and conservative approach and probably just split the house. But hey, this is their jam and they want to take advantage of it. Very nice corner guard. Zach's now going to make use of that center guard. You've got choices here. You can throw a double center. You could go under it early. Little unfortunate losing the first rock, so you don't have the double center that you'd commonly want. Will Butler here looking to make a nice draw. Setting up the second guard by the looks of it. Don't get them too tight. Certainly don't freeze them. I'm going to go with that was not quite the plan. I didn't see whether they wanted the guard or the draw, but they got the neither. All right, so Yuryu Kamikawa with the nice opportunity to clean up the front. A little bit of a float on that. See if they can't get it back to the middle. Oof, Davies dodges a small bullet, still has a center guard. All right, top 4 foot. Just a little bit more on this one, Mr. Butler. All right, depth is not too much of a concern. At least part buried. Anywhere in the 8 foot would be fine. Top 8 through to back 8 is all useful. This one looks like they're going to help it curl a bit. Line's looking real good. Below the tee line, but that's not the main concern here. You actually wouldn't even mind them trying to throw a freeze here, because then you'd freeze them back and so on and so forth, and you get a bunch of play in the 4 foot and someone's getting one. So, Japanese team not buying into that theory, and they're just going to remove something yellow. Nice quiet takeout weight. This weight might even get up to nose on that one. It's gonna be close. Little flop out. Nice shot. Yellow one in the corner, 2 red in the house. So now Zach does have a bit of an opportunity. He can put one top 4 and actually leave a corner sticking out on his side of the rock. And then any kind of a hit by Maeda has got a distinct chance of catching on that red one that just rolled. So he's electing to ignore the reds, throw a little caution into the wind, and use the power of draw and hopefully some small mistakes. So basically same shot, 3 feet higher in the house. This line has a long way to go. We gotta at least get a piece under the guard. A little overswept, actually. That'd have been just about perfect, a rock higher. All right. Hiroki Maeda's turn for this quiet weight hit. You'd love to stick it. Probably going to roll a little bit. Looking good. Got to get it past the guard. Past the guard. Well, Zach, how's your caution factor? All right. He's now thinking 3 reds in the house is getting to be a bit much. You could throw that exact same draw again. Again, the need would be to a little higher and stick out the other side. But he's going with the double takeout. Even a dead nose and just leave everything stacked wouldn't be that bad. Take out 1 red and be frozen on the other. That'd be a nice outcome. Ooh, little speed wobble. Nice recovery. Ooh, where's the roll? Ooh, you don't want to do that. The shooter was really important there. The last thing you want to be doing is letting Team Japan have clean choice. They can do anything they want to. They could draw under the guard. They can appeal the guard. They split the house is not my favorite choice, but you could. Yeah, that's where my brain went. You really needed that shooter to stay in the house. At least force Maeda to deal with that rock.
Maybe a little more, not much. Good job, Brian.
Nice shot. Yellow one gone. Red one not in the middle. Team Davies now having to make use of what's out on the sheet, which isn't a lot. He's got to wrap around that tight red one and corner freeze on the other red. You're effectively now in the position of trying to force one. This would be an error of all errors to steal one in this end. At this level, you should be able to draw a full 8 foot, but you still got to make them throw their shots. So looking for a corner freeze on that buried red. Zach's always been very good about being methodical and patient in his routine. Positive set. Sweepers seem to like the weight. It's looking close. Creeping in. Creeping in. Sit down. Excellent shot. It's about the best he had in that situation. Takumi thinking he can run that red one back. Nice thing is the angle's in his favor because he just needs to kind of pick that yellow one out. You You could do about 7/8 of that front red one, and maybe your shooter even rolls over in at the top of the house. 3/4 is kind of the minimum. Depends on the weight you're throwing. This isn't really the turn to roll your shooter in with, but that didn't seem to be his objective. Over curled, got rid of the guard. Zach and Ronan thinking, hey, how do we set up the force? What's the best place to go? Some people might say 4 foot. Some people might say in line with your own, which would be the greatest idea. Flat out split the house is fine. Something second shot without an obvious double.
Great weight. Perfect weight.
T-line, other side of the 4 foot. Sounds good to me. And looking good so far. Strong clean by the front end. Again, only requirement is being second. Kind of thinking, stop. And there you go. Right where they tapped. All right. Takumi Maeda with the draw or the hit, whichever one makes him the happiest. Theoretically, you could have left that yellow one a foot or two higher to take the hit away, but as previously stated, this is all about forcing one at this point, and they have accomplished that. So now you just think, hey, maybe he's a hair wide or a bit heavy and flops out a little bit or catches it a bit thin, so anything's possible. Looking solid. There's nice. I just love that weight. They play such an easy weight for an easy hit. So there you go. After 4 ends, Team Japan, Team Maeda is up 6-2 over Team Davies of the University of Alberta Golden Bears. We will enjoy the 4th end break, and we will be back with you shortly, looking at the other half of the game.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
What can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, custom chaos? One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in the fourth end break on sheet 3 here at the Saville Grand Prix, the men's event. We are coming to you from Edmonton, Alberta. This is on the southern part of the University of Alberta campus, a beautiful complex that supports all kinds of athletes. My name's Gord Copplethorne. A big thank you to my producer today, Kaylee. They are all working their hardest to make sure that this runs smoothly and cleanly. So after 4 ends, we've had actually a really decent game for a bit of a lopsided scoreboard. A couple of untimely late end misses by Zach Davies gave a 5-point lead to Team Maeda. But again, it wasn't fundamental mistakes. And they have wisely switched to dialing up the aggressiveness a bit to try to generate twos. So despite the unfortunate stumble at the start, they took 2 and then gave 1, so there's still fair much in it. Another 2 gets you 6-4, and then maybe 1 7-4, and then 2. It's a mountain, but it's climbable. If we take a look around the rest of the sheets, of course, everyone can see the scores coming to you on the curl zone. So let's just kind of walk across quickly while they get ready for this 5th end. What do we got here? We have Johnston Tao and Jackson Hebert tied 2-2 after 3 on sheet 4. Shinya Abbey is posted as up 2-1 over James Balance. That score needs to be a quick update. Must be a tight one over there. Kim versus Hlusak is 4-1 in favor of Kim. Ryan Jakes, well, that's interesting. Ryan Jakes is posted as winning the game after 2 ends on sheet 7. Something unfortunate must have happened over there. Finally, we have Yamaguchi up on James Craik over on sheet 8. I believe that's the other game coming to you live this morning with Jim Nix, my colleague. So feel free to tune into them as well if you're curious what's going on over there. All right, coming back to our sheet. We again are starting off the 5th end, the back half of this match. Maeda has a comfortable but not insurmountable 6-2 lead over Davies. Maeda was forced to 1 in the last, so he's doing the typical throw up a center guard. Now let's see what Mr. Davies has in mind for a competitive strategy, an aggressive strategy this end. So I'm going to start with the corner guard. We saw last time his corner was way out there, basically over the 12-foot, and it actually worked out for him. So let's see where this one slides into. Sweep it to keep it a little bit straighter. All right, there's your slightly more prototypical corner guard, covering the mid to outer half of the 8-foot. Maeda coming down the middle, throw it into the 4-foot. Some teams with a 4-point lead may have chosen to forgo the center guard and just bring all the play into the house. Hard to score more than 2 if there aren't any guards. Sometimes you don't want to give them one to use, but hey, if you're comfortable with your plan, use your plan. That's a really nice pair of rocks by Kakuto Takoro. A nice center guard, fully buried underneath. Adam Nagler is being asked to throw just kind of a heavy draw. Back 8 kind of weight. Mostly to the nose of that red one. Just push it back a few inches. Just under the tee line. Adam with a second shot. Called it a little heavy. As long as it's not heavy and wide. You just got to get a chunk of that red one. It's coming across nicely. Oh, that's a really nice shot. I wouldn't go so far as to call that heavy. That's about what they were after. Maeda being forced a little bit here. He's going to have to freeze back. No good hit at this point in time. His center guard kind of giving him a little bit of heartburn this end. They're walking this one in. Nice and easy. Got a long way to go, but if you have the right weight, it'll make it. That is 3 really nice draws back to back. That's a great setup for an end. Now with this one, you're actually going to look to try to get just a bit across the nose. If you keep them in a straight line, okay, fine. If you get a hair across the nose, then any kind of hit makes both reds pop out and both yellows stay. So we're probably looking for just a 7/8, 3/4, just a little bit across nose. Let's see if Will Butler can keep up with the parade of great draws. Bit of a sweep. Line looks huge right now, but they have been walking across this path. Ooh, it's getting there, it's getting there. What a nice shot. What a nice shot. Now you can kind of see if you were to nose hit that yellow one, both reds will pop out and both yellows will stay. So that's a great shot. Bit intrigued by this. I would have thought at some point they might just get rid of the guard. Maybe your own and maybe the peel of shame, but at the same time, the guard is giving you more problems than these ones in the house. But right now he's looking to just pick out that middle yellow one. Tricky little shot. Oof! What a nice play. I wouldn't have called it. Didn't give yourself any room for error, but a really nice shot. But Zach could elect to just draw it right back in there. There's plenty of room and plenty of curl. So they're kind of thinking back 12 here by the looks of things. Again, you need to get to roughly nose of that red one. At least close to nose. Zach seems to want it pushed back a bit, probably to slide it down to 4th shot. I'm not sure anyone's missed a shot this end. This is great curling. Sweeper's on it early. They're thinking, hey, we need a little help here. But that's why it's a team game. Working it over. Ooh. That's unfortunate. That was a communication miscue in my book. There was absolutely no reason for that to. Oh, looking like they're saying it was a burnt rock. If I'm interpreting that, they were just going to get a tiny piece of it. I don't know if we can see it on a replay or not, but it looks like they were just going to get a tiny piece of the back red one, and then they must have touched it with their broom, forcing it to carve into that front red. So Maeda was given the choice to say, hey, where do you think they would have stopped had nothing happened? And they said, well, I think you would have hit about a quarter of the back red one. It moved back a bit, and the yellow rolled open. That's the fair and right way to deal with that situation. Truly unfortunate mistake by the sweepers there, but good sportsmanship and teamwork there to get the right outcome in the end. Doors now certainly opened up for Maeda on this one. Can roll in and really put the pressure on. Rolling away would not be the end of the world, just get it out. Right about there. That's another marvelous shot. After all that perfection and awesome, one small mishap, and suddenly Davies is looking like he might give up 2 or 3 this end. So, time to clean the front. Throw that one back, move some rocks around, open it up. Here comes the cleanup shot. Sweepers are just kind of watching it. Looking a bit thin. Yeah, a bit thin. But hey, there yellow's the one on the front, and there's going to be a lot of red rocks moving if it's hit hard enough. Takumi saying, yeah, I don't want you to have that choice. I'm going to put a guard in the way. Right now, if this plays out as a trade of rocks, it's going to result in Davies having to draw the 4-foot. But at least it's there for him. Looking for a midway guard. Line is more important than depth. Gotta cover the yellow one. Gotta cover the yellow one. Really gotta cover the yellow one. Well, they covered half the yellow one. Good enough. All right. Run back number 2. Don't really want to get nose on this. You want to be high side of nose. Nose would not make your yellow one go anywhere nice. Looking for the red, yellow, red rays. Red, yellow, red. Keep going. There you go. 2 in the corner. That's about the best you can hope for out of that. Excellent shot. The whole team in on this one. Angles were all in yellow's favor as long as you were high. Just like that. Bang, bang. Nice raised double. So now if I'm Maeda, I'm saying, you know what? I'm up a bunch. I'm just going to get rid of that yellow one. I could understand some other plays, but you know what? I'm up 4 points on Team Davies here. Just get rid of it. Zach may very well freeze back or some draw to the other side, and such is life. Worst you can do is give up 2 if that yellow one's not there. We've seen him throw this nice, simple, clean takeout several times. He's throwing a little more weight this time than last, but that's okay. He just needs a piece. Very nice. That's a yellow parked in the corner, collecting parking tickets. So, two choices. Freeze the red or just cross over and draw under your yellow. Whichever one you are feeling. They both have ups and downs. I think I'd go under my own yellow one. The stagger of the rocks favors drawing across under the yellow. It may seem like that's a giant port when you're going across the stagger, but this ice is curling so hard, you're actually going to be reasonably close to that yellow one near the center line with what would be the clockwise draw. Some people might think hit and roll. You do have two guards to roll under. And then that opens up the back one for the obvious hit for one. Oh, sorry, for two. So going for the freeze. The trick here is you really got to be pretty much nose. Anything low side of nose, and the Japanese team can just smack it. They don't care about the red one at this point, because then you'd still have two red in the house. I still think I would be drawing the other direction myself. You have a little bit more room for error. You have anything from top 8 to back 8 under the guard. But this is perfectly acceptable. Just got to make it. Let's see what Team Davies has. Looking close early on. Coming down nicely. Say hello to your friendly yellow rock on your way by. Get a bye, get a bye, get a bye. It's a very solid shot. It's not shot rock, but that was not a must. It can't easily be removed, which was the must. They're kind of looking at a variety of different choices here. And in summary, throw a red one somewhere in the way. Freeze the yellow, freeze the red, tight guard. Freezing the yellow would be ideal, because then something like that angle slash of the yellow guard towards the red one gets taken away. The only thing you wouldn't want to be is kind of heavy into your own back red one. That would make life pretty easy for Zach and friends. So basically, anything from frozen to the yellow to a tight guard. That's your path of success. Every time I see that delivery, I think of our good friend Russ Howard. He also used the wide out rigger broom like that. As a sweeper, you just have to try not to trip. Anyways, here we go. Throwing anything semblant of T-line to guard. It's looking good. Looking good. Hair light, but that was an acceptable outcome. That actually made that raise trickier. Except you can't take your own. The upside to the Davies team is you actually wouldn't be able to hit your own anymore. This shot did have the downside of taking your own out. Now I don't think you can anymore. So it's either you make it or, well, you only give up one. But this is the only shot I really see is this. Well, you could technically throw a draw through that port and be shot rock for one. Go the opposite direction to what he just threw and just grab the outside edge of the button. But this is your only shot for two. All right, Zach with the tricky slash hit coming up. This is looking like probably control weight with this ice. Only has to move that red one 4 inches, so whatever weight you're comfortable calling. Zach certainly has had some tricky shots this game. There you go, nice controlled weight. Seemed a bit of a float on his release. Gonna work it for some curl. Go, 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 go! Oof! Ooh, that's a tragic outcome. That is an extremely tragic outcome, resulting in a steal of 2 for Maeda. The score is now 8-2 after 5 innings. We will be back with you here shortly.
That's life. That's what all the people say.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Hey guys, what can I get started for you today?
Bananas away, regular?
And I'll have the rip berry, but can I get vanilla oat milk and I'll add spinach and ginger? And can I substitute the raspberries for strawberries? Also add the chia and hemp seed, and definitely have the power booster and the collagen booster. And can I get that blended twice?
Wow.
For Alicia, Custom Chaos?
One of a kind.
You're one of a kind.
Blister juice, freshly made your way.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Saville Grand Prix here on a beautiful Friday morning. After 6 ends, we've seen an unfortunate collection of small misses by Team Davies, resulting in big steals. That's really what it's come down to. Little release quirks, little floats, little simple things, and points against. Team Maeda is up 8-2 on Zach. They have been almost unflappable. Full compliments to Team Maeda and their progression of really clean, crisp shots. Those draws last end, just one after the other. Interestingly enough, they went with the center guard plan again and then actually threw the peel of shame. I assume they wanted it a little deeper, but hey, I guess it gives your lead some practice throwing hits. So Zach has a pair of corner guards. Anything can happen. I've seen plenty of points scored under a pair of corners like that. So Zach's looking at needing a 3 or a 4 here, frankly. Probably a 3. So he's really going to have to pull out all stops. But 2 corners is a heck of a good start. This one's coming in quite nicely. You don't want to be too high, because then you have no room for more of your own rocks. You don't want to be too low, because then they can freeze to you without any complexity. So yeah, something around there. Maeda's just going to settle on peeling his own guard again. Try number 2. Bang. Done. No more red guards. To heck with that plan. Put the ball over here somewhere. All right. Davies has 1 corner guard, 1 in the house. You could certainly get away with throwing another guard here. They're electing to freeze to their own. Maeda will then peel back. Then you put it back on and back and forth and time out. Coach has said, let's consider our options on this one. So while they're discussing the merits of guard versus draw into the house, let's walk around the sheets a little bit. All right, starting back at the top, we have our sheet, 8-2. Maeda over Davies. On the neighboring sheet, Johnson Tao is up 3-2 on Jackson Hebert. You can see right there, which is great. Abby in balance on sheet 5. That's looking like a 4-1 lead for Abby. Kim and Hlushak. I always say that wrong. Hlushak. Kim has also got a commanding lead over there. 6-1 over Hlushak. Sheet 7 didn't play their game. You can see there by the clear scoreboard. Ryan Jake's getting a free morning. And then over on far sheet 8, we have Yamaguchi up on Team Craig. That's a 5-2 lead, which is still a close game. Craig has hammer in this one, so it could be 5-4 before you even know it. Again, you can find all scores on Curl Zone, or if you want to watch there, that game over on sheet 8 is also available through our friends in Curling Stadium. All right, so after conversation, Coach Krebs has said, let's throw up another corner guard. Let's create some distance between things. So now they're going for a corner on the other side. Modern coaching has oft debated the merits of split guards versus stacked guards, and both of them can succeed if done right. The theory with split guards is it's significantly harder to get rid of 2 of them. Stacked guards, you can do a run back double or that sort of a thing. That has some angle. There is a double peel there. This is the scenario where turn matters. So in this case here, the turn that crosses the face rolls higher but needs more power. But it is the better slope for the roll. You do run the risk of exactly that, leaving another guard. The clean and simple there would have been just peel guard. Be done. Don't worry about the second one. That's an oops on the Team Maeda's side of things, and Zach's going, yahoo! I got another guard. Put another one in the house. 3 is an option now. Just keep calm. Carry on. Same. Roughly T-line. It's looking close, a little heavy. Just got to be in the house. Right there. Would have been nice. But hey, rock and play. All right, so the last peel got filed into the bucket of bad by Maeda. Now he has to decide what's the bailout in this. We could freeze. We could keep peeling. Whatever makes you happy. This one, you just want about a quarter of a rock, and maybe you hit that yellow one on the other side. But let's get away from this plan of hit and rolling. Outside peel. And there you go. Bang, bang, double takeout. That's a nice recovery from that last peel. Now Zach's got to put it back. Nothing like making up for one rock mistake with a nice double. That was trickier than it looked. All right, Mr. Peterson, time to put a draw in there. And here we go. Once again, just above the tee would be ideal. Line is more important than depth. Okay, maybe a little bit more depth than that. Oops. To peel or to hit? That is the question. The hit takes away the counting rock, but leaves 2 guards to hide behind. I think I'd do the same. Hit the open one. Easy shot. Another unforced error on the Davies side, unfortunately. But it's usable. Could be split, could be drawn behind. See if this one stays in play. Donk. All right. Yeah, freezes an option. Hitting long roll is also an option. You could try to hang it on the back of the house under those guards you've created. Goad them into some kind of a play over there. Mr. Peterson looking for a slightly better draw weight on this one. It's real close. Over curling a little bit heavy, but actually pretty decent. Maeda's going to have to just get rid of that yellow one. The red behind it's of little consequence, as long as you leave a red in the house. If everything disappears, then Zach's got the chance to split or draw under. So you're going to try to leave a red, though that could be trickier than it sounds with them that close together. It's got some weight. Sweeping for the curl. Ooh. The sound of silence. 2 big errors by Team Maeda this end. That is a door that Zach is willing to walk through. I would be tempted to play to the side just because that's a pretty tricky hit. You can see Maeda tried to catch just a tiny little bit and pick it out. That's not easy to hit. So you could very easily go off to that right side as we're looking at it. Draw underneath, split those front 2. That would be sneaky as all heck. Split the short one on, roll the shooter to be half on. Then hits are not in the house. That's how you milk a 3 or a 4 out of this. I don't love the freeze. It's already a hard hit. Any kind of off nose with the freeze, and you're actually making the hit easier for them. So here's the plan. Draw underneath. Make him play that hit again. Most likely outcome is all 3 rocks go away. Then you split the front one for 3. You could also split it now. And if you miss the split, your rock just hangs at the back of the house, because then you've practiced it for the next one. But I like this. I like this. Draw for 3rd rock. Somewhere over underneath that pack. Oh, we just took less ice. I'm intrigued. Nice draw. Watching that front rock intently. Ooh, it's going to overcurl. Ooh. That looks a bit light there. Take it. Hey, nice split. Nice split. If that one had rolled half a rock less, it would have been very vexing for Maeda, because he wouldn't be able to hit it because he'd be sitting 4th. Technically now he can hit that one and sit 3rd. Zach has a bang for 2. Don't mind giving up 2 when you have a 6-point lead. I would probably just exactly hit that one. If you want to get real cute, hit and roll in front of that yellow-red pair. Double not required. Double could actually jam on the back red one. I would hit and roll to the left side of the screen as we're looking at it. Try to roll right in front of that yellow one. They're really intrigued by rolling towards the outer half of the house for some reason. That intrigues me. Not sure. There you go. That roll is smarter. There you go. Center line. Just going to roll far enough that the double is not possible. And don't roll out. Roll out gives a chance for 3. Nice shot. Nice shot. Zach has the nose hit for 2. Has a very challenging double for 3. It rolled just short enough that you can't go red, yellow, red, because your shooter would leave the house. So then you still only get 2. That's a skinny little double. Almost kind of need to try it, though. Getting 2 here is not a big enough pile of reward. If you're looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, better have more than 2 rocks in it. This pressure is very much on the line caller here. You have about 1 millimeter of rock you can hit, but if you do it right, this is a nice shot for 3. Zach and his nice patient routine. Good, good. In for the nose double. Here we go. Nice clean release. It's got a curl. It's got a curl. Oh, he's trying the slash. Ay. Oh, plan B didn't work out so well. So tragic, but very difficult shot. Anyways, on behalf of Curling Stadium, my name's Gord Copperthorne, my friend Kaylee on the cameras. I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been an exciting Friday morning. I encourage you to keep watching scores on Curl Zone or even jump over to the other feed and watch the action over on sheet number 8. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us and have a great day.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.